I was sitting here reflecting, going over different phases of life, my life, the life of others, life of human beings. And how we project, how we express our projections of consciousness, and how our projections of consciousness be revelations to us, about us, to others, about others, so forth and so on, from transition to transition. And I realized that the human consciousness and the divine consciousness is not the same thing. It can have its operation in us all, but it's not the same thing when it's not in operation of those who are not in operation in it. And that have a lot to do with, that can have a lot to do with a lot of things, you know. But the human consciousness and the divine consciousness on earth is not having the same experience. And I find that interesting because all of us are here in the same place, you know, in this, on the, participating in the same school, you know. We're in the same place, which is the school, earth, you know, participating in the same school, life, you hear me? So forth and so on, you know. But I say they're not the same. The human consciousness and divine consciousness is not the same because they don't function from the same level of consciousness. Now, to any of those of us who have worked our way from human consciousness to divine consciousness, we know what that looks like. We know what that feels like. Because of the perception, you know. One is from inside the box, and the other is from outside the box. Having been inside, so it knows how the inside, those who inside the box relate, how they function, how they move, how they operate, so forth and so on, because they've been in that place before, yet expanded, evolved, grew, matured, healed, so forth and so on, from that place, and able to look back at it, you know, and determine if how it want to interact with it, if it interacts with it at all. If those of us who in any of those places, you know, if you know. But and that's even hard for the human mind to comprehend, you know, because for the human mind to comprehend things of divine nature, or for a material-minded person to comprehend things of the unseen, or for a physical-minded person to comprehend things of the non-physical, the mind has to be renewed, spiritually renewed, elevated, alchemized, spiritualized, so forth and so on, you know, or it will always be limited to a place of perception that's constructed off things limited, things of form, you know, things of form, limited to the structure of the world of form, instead of stepping into the world of being. The spiritual mind see, and I say that because the spiritual mind or the divine mind see all the angles, you know. They see all the angles. It's like the ability to be brutally honest and knowing where you've been to where you got to, and don't think yourself better than it, you know. and once again, make that choice whether you wanna, how you gonna, whether you wanna, how you gonna intermingle with it, cause it's good. It's I say that to say it's good within everybody, but to actualize, for everybody to actualize that good throughout our life is a whole nother story, you know. But that's exactly what we here to do. And because I see good in everybody, don't mean that I ignore the red flags, you know. And that's important to me. That's important to me, not because of anybody else that could potentially be a red flag, but that's important to me because I was once a red flag. And since I was once a red flag, you know, since once I was toxic, once I was unhealed, you know, once I needed way more work, you know, than the space I'm working for right now. I know what a red flag look like when I see one, and so are you. If you're not still a red flag, you hear me? You know, not only to others, but to yourself. Cause if you're a red flag, you know it. Cause when I was a red flag, I know it. You hear me? You know, I ain't changed cause somebody. I ain't changed cause people wanted me to change. I changed cause I had to want to change, and I wanted to change. So I started making some changes. You hear me? Cause all of us who hear these words that I speak right now, even though you can hear these words that I speak right now, the only voice you gonna hear in your head is your own. You hear me? If you don't listen, you gonna miss it. I'm just another way to say what you've been saying to yourself, or I'm just another way to say, you know, what you ain't been saying to yourself, depending on what side of what I'm saying you on. You hear me? I said all that to say, once you establish your own connection, whatever you know it as, you hear me? It don't matter what you told. It don't matter who told it to you. It don't matter what we told to believe or what everybody else believe. Because it's going to be through your own experiment, your own demonstration, your own experiences, you hear me, that make what you know. Because it ain't no more time for believing, you know. It ain't no time to believe. We got to know. And what we know should be able to point us to some factual basis, you know, because belief systems are just that. I'm saying what I'm saying because I was asked a question, but I wanted to make how I answer the question into a message. That's why I don't talk about belief systems, though I know many, you know, different schools of thought, so forth and so on. I ain't see it do for the time that I've been here over my lifespan and all I witnessed, seen, and experienced. I ain't seen belief systems, religious systems do no good for nobody who then put those religious systems or belief systems into application. So, for the most part, I ain't seen it do no good for people. So I speak from a place, and I speak to a place that nobody can escape. So I talk about us, human conditions, human nature, you know, so forth and so on. You know what I mean? All the things that we can't escape because we experience them, we go through them, and if we ain't going through them, we've been through it. You know, there ain't nothing fairy tale. You know, or no fictitious characters, unless we the fictitious characters, and there ain't nothing fictitious about us. We here, and for the time that we here, you know, and although we not these bodies that we in, we experiencing ourselves through these bodies that we in. You hear me? Let it ripple. But we all gotta be here while we here. You hear me? But we ain't all gotta be asleep while we here. If you don't listen, you're gonna miss it. That's the choice. But yeah, I just came through this, you know. I miss y'all. You hear me? I miss y'all. But if I'm talking to you, that means you here. And if I'm talking to me, my question to you is, what you gonna choose for yourself? What have you already chose that you can no longer choose? You gotta unchoose. You know, part of the renewing is unchoosing. Everything that we chose, you know, wasn't for the highest good, was it? You know, we choose things ungood for us. We choose things unhealthy for us. We choose things detrimental to us, so forth and so on, all the time. And a lot of us done it for a long time until we start doing something different, you know. I understand the transition to transformation through transmutation and what that entails in the renewing of the mind and in the heart condition in a lot of spaces and in most spaces, you know, a lot of our hearts, you know, either was messed up, been messed up, or still messed up. You hear me? You know, yeah, I've been there. But wherever you are in your process, it's your process, you know, just as well as this is my process. I'm just here, you know, presenting the mind share, you know, sharing, you know, part of or portion, you know, or aspect of things that my process has detailed. You know, we all going through this ascension process. You know, everything, every living thing going through this ascension process. Everyone has to ascend. You know, and to ascend, everyone gonna have to choose themselves. You know, everyone gonna have to choose themselves. All this chosen talk. If you ain't chose yourself, what chose you and who chose you? Therefore, who sent you? You hear me? We're gonna have to choose ourselves, man. You know, the gods and goddesses. We gotta choose ourselves. That means we have to do something. If God is a verb, you know, that means we have to do something. You know, and it starts in our mind, and it's gonna reverberate from there, you know, through the other portions and aspects of our being. I say that because if you know who you is, if you know who you is, you understand that mindsets create the energy. Mindsets create the energy. Mindsets create the energy. The energy don't create the mindset. Although the energy is forever present. If you don't listen, you're gonna miss it. But mindsets create the energy. Whatever energy what that means is whatever energy outside of you already going on outside of you. But whatever energy you tune yourself to, that energy gonna come entertain you. Let it ripple. As within, so without. If you don't have it, you're not gonna have it. Let it ripple. I love this journey because everybody sees something different. Everybody hears something different. And no matter who listening, no matter who witnessing, everybody gonna hear and see me from only the dimension that they're on, that you're on. You hear me? Regardless of where I speak from, you only gonna hear me from the dimension that you on. You hear me? And that's another recognition, you know, that I didn't always know what I was recognizing when I saw it. So a lot of times you know, when I was interacting, when I was interacting, I get caught up in the space that I'm interacting from instead of capturing the space that I'm interacting with. You don't listen, you're gonna miss it. I say that to say, I ain't see it till I saw myself from looking at me from the outside in. It take work and it take brutal honesty, you know, to look at yourself from the outside in, back at yourself from within yourself. That take work and that take brutal self-honesty, you know. Otherwise we stay hung up, you know, to the things that keep us hung up, because that's where we like to hang out at in ourselves, you know. But I ain't here to help us do that. You hear me? Because great people in your life always gonna push you to be the greatest version of yourself. You hear me? So it's an honor for me to be here. My name is Sawu. You hear me? I just want to say you got to go to the top of yourself if you want to see the landscape. You hear me? Yeah, you got to go to the top of yourself if you want to see the landscape. I'm thinking of a emoji. I ain't got nothing imaging on my shirt. We're gonna put a pound sign. You hear me? We're gonna put a pound sign. You hear me? We're gonna put a pound sign. I appreciate y'all for coming through. You know, remember to take your moment. Always take your moment. To integrate your energy. Know what you're feeling like. You know, alchemizing. You know, transmuting energy. You hear me? We're going through shifts. We just had 80 degree weather. Now it's 50 degrees a day. You hear me? That's why I'm hooded up. But so yeah, everything's shifting. You hear me? Meditate. You know, sit still in your own energy field. You heard? Yeah, we're gonna put a fist. You know what I'm saying? Power up. Feel good for no reason at all. My name is Sabu. Thank y'all for it all. Y'all know who y'all are. I love y'all. Peace.